saying that because is it 60% or is it 70%?
The old
what the women go off of the men's weight.
If you read, back when everybody gets their L1 and the wealth of knowledge was stored on the CrossFit Journal, it was round about 60%. That was the right answer. But now, man, it's just not true. This is not Keurig coffee, so you can not pick on me. But
don't worry. I have that on my list of things that I wrote down.
Keurig Poppy. Good, because I don't have anything. It's off the dome.
Yeah, no, I don't think 60% is fair either, because I think it's like these women are so freaking strong.
The curve for them is just there was way higher a ceiling for that progression to be made than men, right? Like there's been strong dudes. With the dudes, it's been you're at one end of the spectrum, and now everybody's come toward the middle. Girls, and you see it in affiliates. Girls come in with a crazy range of motion, not a lot of stability or strength. Dudes come in with all the stiffness and strength and none of the range. And then you got soccer player guys who come in, they can run for days, do all the cardio stuff.
Right.
And same for girls. Yeah. But they're, it's the same. I don't know. It's getting to where I feel like it's more of a strength-ish sport. It's still only going to be one event. That's why I just started back lifting. Like I was dieting and questionably lifting once a week. And I text Jason. I was like, I'm skinny now. I'm scared. Can we start lifting? Can I have the bar back, please, sir?
Please, sir. May I have another?
Hey, so you gave Dobby a sock. Please.
Dobby a sock.
Set me free.
No, I agree with this. I was talking to Elle about it, and Elle has the same kind of thoughts as we do, which is once you're strong enough, fuck strength. Like it's an endurance sport. Like
100%.
You better be able to, what do they say, breathe fire and spit. I don't know, whatever's that.
It's poop fire. Poop fire. Everybody takes pre-workout. Poop fire.
And poop fire. I just like I don't see it. I'll be honest. Big Dogs or it was previously
OPT,
it was Big Dogs.
OPT, Big Dogs, and it was OPEX.
Yeah, and they had this chart about like how strong enough, and it was like if you're clean and jerking 335, and I know this sounds crazy, like as a dude, like it's technically strong enough for semifinals. Technically, strong enough.
I think now the margin for error is so small for you to be garbage across the board if you want to go to a semi. Especially now, essentially the Open does not matter, so I don't care what Dave puts up about, these will be so hard. Well, cool, man. What are you going to make me do now? Like a million jumping jacks and like the 2 for wall balls so you can see people get hit in the face? You may just do wall walks. And then you doubled down and made them do it at the games. Like, I get it. It's 3 weeks. If you are relatively competitive, if you're the fittest person in the class you go to, you're going to make quarters.
Yeah, you're going to make quarters.
So I'm excited that the Open does not matter for the silly stuff he'll do. But yeah, like long story long, I think, it's going to be one actual strength event. I think if you have the kind of prereq, like if 335 is the prereq, 1 rep max, just to say that is, if you can hit 90% under fatigue, that's the game now.
Agreed. It's battery work, right?
Yeah. And confidence in that. Because that's the thing with all of it. You have these previous experiences to pull on, and you can hit it. Like I did a piece yesterday. It was 2 rounds. Started with 20. It was like the regional ladder, but it was 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 instead of singles. Yeah. And I had to change my own weights, so I also know there's a break. But I know from 205 to 305 I can push, and I can hit 305 for a single no matter what. Now, that's not the case for everybody, but just in my brain. Now, I went and ran. I have a buddy who does not do CrossFit anymore. He does high rocks. Have you seen that?
What is high rocks? High rocks?
So my buddy Eric Boxford runs it in America, and it is basically the sport of cardio. So it's CrossFit-ish. Say like if what do I call it? The sport of Orange Theory.
Are you serious right now?
Okay, so the event it's a 1K row to start, and then between every station. 1K run, not row, sorry, run. So it's 1K run. Oh, yeah. Yeah, let me read these events off to you.
Okay, so first of all, I'm out. So
I did one.
1K run, you fucking lost me.
No, it's not going to lose you on the first one. Hold on, I'll read you the exact because you'll feel good after. Because here's what's going to happen. You're going to do the first one. You're going to be like, okay, into a 1K ski. It's a 1K run into a 1K ski. and then you're gonna ski way too fast because CrossFit, and you're gonna come out, and these guys are gonna start running the second 1K like they're the anchor leg on a 400-meter relay, and like I wish that was a joke. It's not. Like it's the who's like winning it now. Hunter McIntyre runs it, whom I love. Like he shows love to my friend Xander. Apparently, he's a really cool dude in it. But you know, he's a psychopath for the fitness. I cannot find the exact. And so it's 1K run, 1K ski, 1K run, 1K row, 1K run, 1K or some heavy sled
bike?
push. No bike. Okay. But there's a sled push. It's pretty heavy, and it's also harder because it's on carpet. Like, you know, Josh Amchama?
Yes.
So Josh, I went and watched Josh do it. I just did the media in L.A. And like fit guy, strong guy. It'll whoop you. You just because you get 20 minutes into it, and you're like, oh, this takes an hour. I have made a mistake. But it's a pretty cool thing.
I've made a tactical error here.
We went and did it. Marilyn was X amount of weeks pregnant. I can't remember. In Austin. And my friend Xander.
Wait, you've done this?
I did one, and that's all I'll do. Now I'll go do video for it because I love E-Rock. But they have a bunch of versions of it. It's very cool if you're a person who, the atmosphere is really cool. It's a party. It's indoors. The 1K is a lap around all the stations. I mean, the pageantry of it is very cool. Like the finish line, you run up a thing onto like a smoking light explosion. It don't matter if you're first or last. Seriously, literally for everybody. Announcers up there. Love this. It ends with 100 wall balls.
All right.
Which I was cool for. It's got a 200-meter walking lunge in it, or a 100-meter walking lunge, 200-meter farmer carry with 70s, 53s. It's some cool stuff. There's literally no skill to it other than how long can you keep your heart like right at I'm about to explode mode. And
what?
Yeah, it's very cool. But they have like a world championships. I mean, it's a.
How do you spell this?
HYROX.
All right, I'm googling it right now.
Shout out Just Coffee for the dopest hat in the collection. My man Kev. You would actually like it. You need to get on Just Coffee and order some stuff. I ran through mini bags.
You got like an affiliate link or something?
No, just text it to you. He makes cool stuff.
Dude,
the coffee's really good, but his branding is. He actually made me this hat. That's who signed it. He made like 5 of these.
That's a dope ass hat, bro.
He's a good guy, man. Kev's a good one.
That is a dope ass hat. Holy shit, I like that.
It's I think he modeled it after what Ice Cube was wearing, like NWA hat. That's the O'Shea hat. That's what he calls it. There's only like 5 of them. Can't get it. Yeah. So look at this. So. Yeah, pageantry, very cool. They brought me in to do social media stuff, like reels and stuff for the day and stories.
Their website is redonkulous. Cool.
It's a European thing, right?
Oh, shit, Birmingham.
Yeah, dude. Go do it. I'm so pumped to move close to you, too, so you can come to the farm.
Dude, I'm going to come to that farm, and we're going to
the meat factory.
It's really going to be my wife that keeps up with you, but I'll have some fun. All right, so workout of the week. Let's see what these crazy fuckers are doing.
So these are just the training pieces they'll put out.
All right, so 2 rounds, and I'm just going to say it because some people are just listening. So 2 rounds. Part A is a 200-meter run, and then what is this? Is this like squats in the remainder of time?
Who knows, dog? Who knows? I don't know how they write them. 4 time. There's no numbers. Some of them are crazy though. Like go down.
Go down. Okay.
Yeah, time cap 50 minutes, 2K run, 5-minute rest. 100 burpee broad jumps for 100 meters.
What?
It's one of the events.
And then it ends with a 2K run. Oh, it's a sandwich.
It is cardio, man. And if you've ever watched, Hunter's a psychopath, man, right? Like, in a good way for the fitness. I mean, he's my size. I mean, he might be 10 pounds lighter now. That he and I both have lost weight. But I mean, the guy runs like just the Clydesdales from the Budweiser commercial and dummy fit for all this stuff, and he goes and gets like I don't know. I think he's won one, and he's gotten top 5 every time.
Oh my god! Look at this one: 5K run every 3 minutes, 10 burpees, 10 plank push-ups. Oh,
yeah, I got to run mile splits after this. I'm so sick of running.
Dude. L's got me running twice a week right now, and let me tell you, like, so it's like Saturdays is just like Sunday, sorry, is like an 8K easy. And I'm like, there ain't no easy shit in 8Ks, but whatever. And then and then Thursdays is about 8K, 8 to 10K, depending on where we are, worth of intervals, and like 8 to 2K, 800 meter to 2K range. It sucks, dude. I'm gonna be honest.
Are you running outside or are you on the runner?
Runner.
So I do runner most of, like, it's been 70 here. I mean, you're next door. Hell, you're in Alabama.
Yeah, I'm next to you.
Is it snowing there?
Yes. Check out my Instagram story.
It's snowing here. It snowed last night when I got out of the sauna. I was like, nice ice bath, cool.
Listen, it's 70. I'm working out outdoors on my outdoor rig yesterday. It's 72. Shirt off, had the weight vest. It was amazing. Me and my wife were working out. Yeah, Titty City. I mean,
not Titty City. Never mind. If your wife was out there, it's just you.
Okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, she was clothed.
Made me inappropriate real fast. Got me.
Right.
Damn it.
Canceled. Hey, but listen, I learned this. Elle told me this. He said if you don't apologize for it, you can't get canceled. So I don't apologize for shit.
I love when Elle says things that apply to me, because I always feel smart if they apply, or it's things I agree with or think also. He's so smart.
Anyways, and I wake up, it's snowing. I'm like, this is some bullshit.
How far? What did I say? You're gonna be an hour from me in Guntersville?
Yeah, I'm like an hour from you. Like 75 minutes, probably door to door.
That'll be cash money. I think there's no affiliate in Guntersville, so we're gonna open one.
Are you really gonna open an affiliate?
Yeah, I think so. We may not affiliate because I want a lot of freedom, and I've spent. Well, bro, I've benefited for so long from not being the owner, right? Like
I feel that.
I've run the show. I've been the show pony, but I've benefited a lot from not being the owner and just kind of absorbing stuff. And like some of the stuff I want as a headache, I was the guy who had to sit down with everybody, like Fat Susie, Fit Ricky, whoever, everybody in between, and sell CrossFit to them and put out YouTube and Google fires. And I would love to have like whatever the LLC is. It's got F and F in it, and that I would love if I could just name it that, like Fitness and Fellowship. Because that's just been my thing I've said since 2014. They don't have there's no affiliate there, so it'd be cool to have an affiliate-ish thing. And they got a few like local coffee shops. I'd love to do what Rich does and have like a coffee shop in the lobby and see if it organically grows. But as you now know, Keurig Poppy out here. I need to get my white trash taste buds and palate up to snuff for sensing the notes of chocolate and beans.
And berry. Listen.
It says notes of coffee.
Notes of coffee bean.
I'm jazzed
up. I'm on my second cup here. I'm feeling good. So when I originally bought this whole like pour over set, and look, we're gonna talk coffee for a second.
You got time. Y'all don't have kids. I cannot do a pour over. 10 out of 10 can't do that. I
mean, it does take from start.
I have to wake up an hour sooner. You know what I do? I do grind the old beans now. I grind the beans before I go to bed, put them in there, set the timer. I'm officially like Kevin Costner, old man, sit in silence in the dark and drink a hot cup of coffee. Because this is the first like iced coffee I've had in a while.
Every coffee aficionado out there, when you said I grind the beans the night before, just literally cringed.
Suck it. Suck it. Suck it. Yeah.
Because the rule of thumb is 15 minutes, and that's pushing
12 hours. 12 hours is the 12 hours is the rule of thumb.
Dex has got that post roast date, put it in a barrel type of deal.
What's this? What I said, just coffee. With just coffee, 12 hours, still good.
It's still good, bitches. Get on it.
Yeah.
So look, I'm all for that. And when I started drinking coffee, it was a Keurig, and I did what you did, which was I grinded the beans and I put it in the little capsule thingy, and then set it, and it was great. Put my coffee cup under there, it was ready every morning, and that was great. Then I was like, why am I spending for a pour over $4.50, $4.75 at a nice coffee shop? Like, why am I spending this money?
You're buying the vibes.
You are, and I was like, you know what? I can buy the vibes in my house. So
and be naked,
and be butt ass naked.
You don't have kids, so you can definitely
and maybe doing other things.
I could be traumatizing kids and be naked. So now it's in a robe, which also makes me feel like I think now I aspire to be Kevin Costner on Yellowstone. Now that I've seen that without all the like murdering people and like shady business, just like an old man on a ranch.
That was assumed.
Yeah,
no shady business, no killing people. I mean, typically we think you're a decent human.
So I mean, if there's a time and a place. It's not always and everywhere, but
have you ever eaten these? And my wife bought me one.
I can tell by
These
the wrapper, and that's crack. Yes, I've eaten every flavor, and there's not one I don't like. Well, so I was hooked on, as you know, my heart is fat, and I've been on a diet. So like my MyFitnessPal is disgusting if you're like a person who needs variety, because it literally every day for every meal, swipe same thing, swipe same thing. The smart meals turned on. I'm really proud of that. And that, I think, everybody does the New Year's resolution thing. That's me this year. Was like not start at fat Dex. So now we'll see what we can do not being that. But I have to eat the same things every day because for the longest time I was hooked on Built bars.
Dude, those are good.
Well, the consistency of them is weird. They make one called Puffs now that I accidentally ate in GNC the other day by my very legal, regulated supplements. But they have to say that. Ricky's back. I have to say it now. We're all on trial. But so Build bars are good. They made this thing called Puffs that changes the consistency a little bit. But those Bear Bells are so good. Hey, but they're so good you can't find them.
Well, so my wife's a coach at one of the gyms here, and so when they expire and they no longer can like legally sell them anymore, she just bring them home to me. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I eat them.
What expires in them?
Yeah,
you got bad nuts in there? Cashews going bad?
I don't know. But, I guess everything has a shelf life. She's like, hey, you want these? I'm like, yeah, I'll
Sponsor the show. Send us all free stuff, Bear Bells.
Yeah, Bear Bells.
I'll be the guy.
Look.
Something I'll actually use, Bear Bells.
Bear Bells. See, like I feel like I want to be transparent on this show. If I promote something, I want it to honestly be something that I like, not some bullshit.
You got my hopes up because I thought you were about to tell me that was who's sponsoring, and that was like a good segue because I'm fat and I'll do that. That's not true. I got to stop saying that. I'm 210. I would love to be 215 because I eat too many Bear Bells again. I will sacrifice. I'll sacrifice 5 pounds. Dude, I have to. I didn't realize, like, I think I have like this weird body dysmorphia because like I think at 225 I'm not that big a dude because I'm 6'2". Mm-hmm. I'm just. And that, people around here are all not. You live in Alabama, same thing. It's not. People aren't the fittest. Yeah. Birmingham is not that bad. It's a young professional town, I think.
Yo pros, yeah, sure.
Well, you got a college town too, kind of. But where is Sanford?
Down. So Sanford is located in Homewood, which is so like it's everything's really close here. It's all within like a 17-ish minute drive, right?
Well, like
so
you're in the ridge line, right? Like y'all are in a hole.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how Gunnersville is too.
100%. Yeah. So you've got, I would say Sanford and UAB, which is the other, for people listening, University of Alabama at Birmingham, they're probably maybe 15 minutes from each other. And I can get to both of those in about a 25-minute drive. So it's everything's relatively close. But it doesn't feel like a college town. I mean, I went to Auburn, right? And that's a college town like that.
Yeah, it's a crazy town.
Yeah, right. And maybe it's because like it literally the town revolves around football, right? I mean, it does. It is.
Well, even if my thing here, and it's the same thing here, right? Like Ole Miss and State, people that did not go to Ole Miss and State are still insane about it. And just like there, people that did not. You own an Alabama T-shirt or an Auburn T-shirt, so
boy, roll tide,
brother, War Eagle, brother.
You mentioned something earlier about like you said like New Year's resolutions. You were talking about starting on a good note, not being fat Dex. I went on this rampage, I guess you could call it, diatribe. That's a better word. Last week about New Year's resolutions, and I was like, look, and I did this because I was sick and tired of getting bombarded with fucking ads on Instagram. That was like, change your life in 21 days. Buy this course, this ebook. I was like, blah, 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 blah. And like all of it was geared towards this idea that like better goals, or if you set better goals, you'll be a better person. And if you're a better person and you achieve these goals, you'll be happier. That's the general like premise of all of it. And as someone that has goals, I know you do. You have things you want to achieve, and B, helps other people set those goals because I know you coach people and coach competitive athletes. Like, do you talk to them about goals? And if you do, like, what does that actually look like for people?
So this is that's a good question because Nick and I talked about this. I think coming in, to work with the boys, I've worked with other people before whom I also love, but it was just, different stuff. And just culturally, it's a lot different, right? Like we all resource each other. James was on Savant's podcast talking about, we got a specialist for everything, and I'm not one. I'm just the CrossFit guy. So Nick and I, and even me and Matt Torres, who just, are both have different brains for it, but, overarching themes are kind of the same, just a different approach and maybe execution. But Nick and I, going through our coaches flow, we reverse engineer everything, right? Like if Micah tells me, hey, dude, this year, this is what I want to do. 3 years, this is what I want to do. 5 years, this is what I want to do. Cool. We put those on the roadmap way down, and we reverse engineer it. So Holly Henderson's one of my athletes, and I've known her for a while, so I don't think she'd mind me using her as an example. But she, last year, solid year, did well at West Coast, wants to break through and make it to the games, has all the tools to do that, had some crazy life stuff going on during the West Coast and still had like a solid performance. And so we talked about that, like what it looks like. And even more so like doing those things to have that plot point, but also to like keep us both honest. It makes, and Nick put it to me like this, and it was, there's, you've had these conversations, it just doesn't cross your mind. It was like, keeps everybody honest, and then it makes certain conversations throughout the year a lot easier to have, because you can just refer back to like, hey man, does this line up with the things we put out, out in the universe that you made real and we put pen to paper, or, we put in True Coach to make it this end point kind of peak thing.
Yeah.
And, so we talk about it, long story long. It's as specific as we can get, within my realm. Like I'm not a nutritionist. I have one.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. But I mean, as far as performance stuff, especially if it's something that's mega objective, we're going to have data points to work off of. And that's why Elle and them, it's so cool to see the stuff that they do is, and I guess we do, cause that's, I've picked up some stuff from them. Very objective. I mean, the metric stuff you can look, if you could peel back layers in the True Coaches of all their athletes, like it's so thorough and so point by point. And that's, I like I don't know, man, it's very easily trackable. I think if it's in line with the things we laid out after we have those conversations, you can be more confident in the speed of the needle moving, because it's going to move in that direction. And so we have those conversations, make it really easy to keep that in sight, and then the steps along the way, kind of the top of the staircase, are easier to lay out if we reverse engineer it. And then the testing and stuff we do is really good too. So,
well, okay, see, and that's where I think you nailed it, right? And I think that last part was like a huge caveat that I mean, we could spend however much time you want, but it's like, how do you actually know you're getting better? I mean, look, just like you. I mean, I have a lot of fit friends, people that are either semifinal athletes, bubble level athletes, like that are people that are really freaking fit at the end of the day. And, when I start talking to them and I'm like, cause deep down, like I'm a freaking nerd, man. Like I want to know, what are you doing? How are you ticking? Like how are you approaching this? Like what's your strategy here? What are the actionable steps you're taking? And the reality is most of them just like, yeah, I'm just following this like thing. Like I've just been doing the classes and that's cool. If like community is your thing, I don't want to hate on that. But I know that people listen to this podcast, like it's more than just community. Like, yeah, that's maybe why they started CrossFit, but that's not what their goal is right now. They're like, their goal is I want to, get this place in the quarterfinals, or make it to a semifinal, whatever the case is. And I can think of like a couple really fit friends that I have, like that are really close to making it, to a semifinal. And like I look at them and I'm like, what did you change from last year to this year? Like, how do you actually know that you've gotten fitter? Like, is it a gut feeling? Is it just like I'm sleeping better? Like I'm more like what metric are you actually using? And I'm not saying it always has to be as straightforward as, well, my friend went from 227 to 207. Like I don't think that. I mean, sure, that could be a indication. But it's just kind of like you said at the very back end of it. It's like, you kind of glossed over it too. And we have testing.
Yeah, it's and like so it's when you onboard, right? Like we'll do the consultation thing, which to me is getting to know you. It's a lot not as rigid as it sounds. But there's like, lead-in questions where I want to know things. Which includes the goals, kind of athletic experience, blah, 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 where you want to go. And then I'll gauge, like, how serious you are about it. Me, I'm husband, dad first. So, yeah, take the kid to school, doing all that stuff. If all those boxes are checked, we go train. And I don't, I've said a million times on here jokingly, I don't have any other hobbies, but I don't. I love doing it. I don't think I'm going to compete this year, but if I wasn't, cool. But the way we do that, as far as like, because a lot of people's check engine light comes on and they'll have a freak out panic time of like, am I getting better? I don't know till the open. And that is, well, it's true, man. Like, and
you're right.
And there's so many different kinds of athletes too, right? Like, one camp is the guy that, hey, 1 rep max day, I'm PR and it's happening. Love it. Live for it. Other camp stresses me out so much, I'm probably going to hit 80% that day. But on a random Tuesday, I'm going to PR. There's 2 camps. And so I think it's on a coach to gather that information and know your athlete, but keeping the things objective. And I've described it to a lot of athletes as, year to year, say at the end of the year, we put all these puzzle pieces together and it's a pretty picture, but there's the face of the main character's missing.
Wow,
right? That's the piece we're missing. And so you don't want to be missing that piece. And so I've described, because initially when you get with people, and I think Nick would agree with this, depending on when you come on, right before the season, we're probably going to gear up for the season, and after we'll do the rebuilding. But I like to, hey, if the puzzle was put together, we're dumping it off the table. I want to make all these pieces, make sure we got all the pieces. Do we have the range? Do we have the stability? Do we have the aerobic capacity, the structural strength, blah, blah, blah. And then let's get into sexy stuff. And there's, different for each athlete, but those blocks can go however long they need to, right? Like the pieces of the puzzle being very strong are going to make the picture even better when you put them back together. And that can, hopefully that is, right after the season, you laid that out with your coach or whoever it is you work with.
Yeah.
With the picture in mind at the end, we took the pieces, made sure we had all of them. And then they all fit together perfectly. There's no gaps in the pieces and all this stuff. There's no weird little broken off circle piece. But just the pieces are strong, so the whole is what we want it to be. And that's kind of how we work through the testing stuff. We get the range of motion tests specifically for the things we do in the sport of it. Because if you got a one-on-one coach, I assume it's not just so you can go be a better accountant and spend a lot of money. You want to be competitive. You want to win the class, go to the quarter or something. And we have templates and stuff. Like I just Heather, new athlete with me, she came off, she was a brute athlete for just kind of blog stuff, wants to go a little deeper. So she is just wrapped up testing and we're into her blocks now. But you get all the subjective stuff, and then if the performance things aren't there, say like Micah hits a 3-minute Fran, we're 8 weeks in, he hits another 3-minute Fran, it's the same. But now he's not rolling around on the ground after, his movement quality is not questionable, blah, blah, blah. There's so many things we can gather through the testing that we'll retest, right? We go 4-8, however long, retest and do those things. And that's just to soothe that kind of check engine light I was talking about that pops on. And, everybody has a different way of going about that. Like I said, some athletes live for the numbers and that retest week. I don't think everybody's that way.
I mean, I'm not. I'm not
it's
nice.
I'm not even a numbers person. So my coach Jason knows me. I can hit numbers. In my brain, I know I can hit most days 90% of almost anything. But if he was like, "Hey, 1 rep max today, PR," probably not. I'm gonna turn up way too early that day. Might not sleep the night before because I'm so turned up, and then by the time I get there, I'm like, I am tired for no reason. But on an RPE of hey, RPE a 9 day, there's no pressure in that. I'm a real how it feels that day person, and that's just me. And I find that more with males. We are way better going on feel. Females can hit, I hate to say that, but it's true in my experience. Ladies are way better at hitting numbers day to day. And I have some female athletes who need to be tricked into a PR. I'll throw her not under the bus, throw her in the bus, take a nice ride. Grace Lochner is one of my folks. Hit surprise PR. She'll text me and it'll be on purpose, right? Like when I'm laying those things out, I'm like, all right, Jedi mind trick you into a PR here. And it may be in a complex or, a tight time domain kind of thing. to where there's no time for you to think or feel the pressure. The tools you have are used. There's no, it's what's in there that's happening, not that kind of overthinking. And she'll do it.
You bring up that's a good point, because so right now, we're on this cycle, right? And Elle's got me doing a clean and jerk, snatch, and back squat, and we retest that thing like every 6 to 8 weeks, man.
Yep.
And that's like all we do. It's aggressive, and it's great. He knows what he's doing, and based off of where my numbers are, and the reason I've related to what you just said is because we just did it the other day. He was like, "Hey, build to a 1 rep," and it was just those 3 things, and I was like, "Dude, this is like." It was trash. Granted, I shouldn't say trash. I was able to hit 90%, but I wasn't able to PR. And it's so funny. I was so pissed off the next day. I came back in and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to snatch and see what happens. And it's like, boom, there it was. It's like, man, that's so weird mentally. When you, just like you said, you're thinking about it. You're like, oh shit, I got a 1 RM tomorrow. Like, and it's almost like it's like an adrenal fatigue, like because you've thought about it and your hormones are so high because you want, like most people want to do well. I know I do.
Yeah.
And so you show up and you're like, shit, I'm tired.
Yep.
Why am I tired?
I think it's like anything, right? You're getting married, you got your first date, you're whatever, you got a test coming up. That's all it is. It's an overthinking situation. Those things, if you've never felt the pressure of random things in life, that's like the best relative thing for it. And then, because there has to be a physical translation, right?
100%.
And like, why am I tired? Like, and the best way, and I'll tell you, the first time I ever felt this genuinely was when we had our first kid, because you have no clue what you're doing, and nobody does. I know that now. We got 2, we're good. We sleep. But well, you think they're made of glass. And so I'm at home with the kid, right? Work from home. I was trained in the gym. Now I literally will get a babysitter. You cannot tell me it's not worth it to get out and breathe for 2 hours a day. Suck it. Everybody who thinks it's not. But you're so heightened all day. And this is super relative. Like, just change the lens. That next day, it's coming. This is why I put my programming out. I literally, when I put it out, I hope everybody's asleep and you can't read it the day before. Like, I was a person when I did affiliate classes, I didn't want to know what I was going into.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I would rather not know.
Now, competitively, I want the cheat codes. I want to know so I can formulate a plan, so I can not be freaked out by the experience. But I was here all day with Anna. She's 6 months old, up until she was 8 months old after Marilyn went back to work full time. And I was just from being nothing happened, but it could have. I was so fried. Like, that's when I told Jay, I was like, man, I think I'm just going to be a dad, dude. Like, you can keep programming for me if you want to. I love you and appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. But I don't think I can do both. But you settle in, right? Like, I just watched this thing. It was like a round table with some actors, and it was talking about this too shall pass. And it will, man. Time's your friend. I think I settled into that, and I think those things, it's just, and I think it's just the way your brain works. It's important to you, is what that means.
That's right.
But I think that's why I more or less not stay distracted, but I try not to I'm very guilty of like hyper focusing on things to where I'll almost get like ADHD paralysis, to where like I know something's coming tomorrow, 9 a.m. the day before. I can't do anything the rest of the day really. Without like this being in my brain.
Dude, it's analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Like it really is.
Well, things are, the chips are going to fall where they may regardless, right? Like, and this is what I've talked to, I hate to keep going back to Holly, but she's been so good for so long. We're the same age. I may be a year older. College soccer player, been in regionals every year since they've had it, through injuries, through crazy life stuff, whatever. And just had the same coach for a while, which was the guy I started with, Mike McElroy, who old school OPT guy, OPEX guy, now still works with big dogs, and his company's Iron Sharp. But great guy, very like-minded, with along the same lines as Nick and myself, program-wise. And her base is good. She just, I think, to break through, it's going to be some of that. What were they talking about on the NFL Talk this morning about Joe Burrow? You want a guy who can be both. I'm a psychopath. I'm going to kill you, but I want my heart rate to stay at 50.
Dude, that's some powerful shit, bro.
Yeah, you want to be both people. And Noah's talked about this, and I love Noah. And I used to think before I met him and got to know him and we were really good friends, Noah Olson, that, hell, it might have been on your podcast where he was like, people want me to be a killer. No, it was with Christian. But it was, people want me to be a killer, and it's just not how I am. And then they said that, literally heard it this morning. It's like, you want to be both people. You can be both. There are boundaries, right? Like on the floor, cool. I can't get down. We're not buddies. I'm going to kill you, but I want my heart. I don't want it to blow me up. And so I'm getting better about, and I think it's you not compartmentalizing, because that's not always healthy, but I think it's getting, and again, I learn these things myself, and that's kind of how I get to translate it out. But I think when this too shall pass kind of thing I've been holding on to. And it's not as bad or as good as it seems. So, I want these things to go well. They're gonna. And the long story long, again, with Holly, you have the tools in the box. It's going to happen or it's not. Just go give your best effort. And that's like, she operates mostly on like her RPE stuff. Like, and she'll PR some of those days. Just like Grace. Her and Grace are very similar in that. Because you don't know, man. Like, coming off a Sunday where, some life happened, you got some bad news, whatever. Like, I think I'm realizing how much more that affects people physically and their ability to kind of singularly focus on something, even if it's training or no matter how important it is to you, life happens. And I think, giving yourself a little grace and room to wiggle there is more and more important. And then just longevity-wise, I mean, not to minimize the importance of the sport to anybody or any of that, but it's fitness, again, I've talked a million times about away from the gym, how important those things are to manage and to keep what we're talking about, that kind of, build up fatigue, keep that down, because I know, hey, my relationships with people are good. I've managed my time well. I have my things taken care of. So I got full kind of bore to put this foot through the floor and see what the gas pedal can really do. And, we're figuring that out, and it's beautiful to me, and that's why I enjoy the work so much is, every person's so different.
Totally.
Physical need wise, absolutely. But then like mentally, man, it's it's the most fun. And that's what's crazy about like our group is that like Nick is, people don't know Nick's like a tactical athlete. Like Nick goes and shoots guns and does the shit Hepner does and like is really good at it. I mean, he's an older fella, and I don't know if his knees still work, but he goes and does the pew pew thing in the woods.
Pew, pew.
Yeah, Matt was a college receiver, big personality. L certain was pulled out of a horror movie, but also very smart and fun to be around, true. Man. But it's such an eclectic group, and that's what's fun about it, man. And so getting to navigate those relationships with people, and me and Joey are pretty much the same, but he's fitter than me, and we just have such a good group, man. And getting to see that in different people is the most fun to me.
Yeah, man. What you brought up about just like handling your shit, handling your business, whether that's physically, emotionally, mentally, that really I don't think can be overstated, over communicated, because I find that when you are going into the gym and you've got this level of like these, how old is call them, like mental knots in your that's what they are, right?
Yeah, that's exactly
right.
What they are.
And and I hear this all the time. It's like, oh, I just need to go blow off some steam. I'm like, bruh, like that session is only going to add to that. It's literally causing stress to your body, just like those mental knots in your head. And I use this guy as an example a lot, and I felt so bad about it that I finally told him. I was like, hey, I'm using you as an example on my podcast like all the time. I just want to make sure you're good with it.
It's you, sir. I am talking about you.
Yeah, and I was like, if you're not, like, just let me know. I'll stop using it. I know it's good. But there's this kid that's living with my wife and I right now, and he made it to the Olympic trials last year with no coaching, like zero, nada, no coaching. He throws the javelin. It's not a sexy sport.
Awesome. Yes, it is. Are you kidding me? Have you ever seen that in the shot put?
Okay, so here's my caveat. Like in Europe, it's all the rage, right? But like here, it's like,
yeah, that's true.
We just don't fucking care, right? But I think it's cool. I really do, and I respect the hell out of anybody's grind that makes it to the top 1% of their sport. Totally
Without a
respect.
coach? What?
Yeah, totally respect it. So anyways, he told me his story and all that, and I was like, dude, this is amazing. But we were talking about something one night. It was a situation with a with a lady friend. And I was like, dude, yeah, right. I was like, dude, what is your goal in life right now? Like if you could distill it down to like your purpose on this earth right now. And he was like, I want to make it to the Olympics. I was like, is that more important than anything and everything else in your life? Like, honestly, like, because, and I challenged him with this. I said, look, you can lie to me, but you ain't lying to yourself when you go into bed at night.
You know what's in that head when you say this stuff.
Is that shit between your ears. And too, if you're lying to me, and if you're lying to me, that's only going to create more dissonance in your head, right? It's not being honest with yourself. And so anyways, he was like, no. He was like, this is it. Like, I'm pouring my like he moved here from Louisiana to do this, like, because of the guy, of the Olympian coach that was here.
Wow.
Anyways, so long story short is what I was telling him was like, dude, like, this should be a simple, I'm not saying easy, it should be a simple decision for you. Like, part of being decisive is literally in the meaning is like you're cutting a line, you're cutting a hard line saying, look, this should, not that doesn't matter, but it's not the most important thing. I love that quote, keep the main thing the main thing, Mm-hmm. And what I told him was, I was like, dude, you got to have that conversation with the lady friend. I said, like, and if you're telling me this is the most important thing, yet this is causing a distraction in your life, which it is, because you ain't going to bed on time. You have let's just call it what it is. If you're an elite athlete, you should have a fucking bedtime.
Yep.
I don't fucking care what you say. It's a bedtime, and you need to have a consistent wake up time. There's so much studies about that, right? And for those listening, just Google REM cycles.
Oh, they're getting there. They're getting there now, man. They're
sleep cadence, like,
yep.
Folks, like it's the game. Anyways, and so I was explaining to him all this, and I was like, why it matters about, when you have, when your melatonin levels rise and when your cortisol levels rise. And I was explaining to him the hormones, like the why, the science behind this. He's like, dude, no one's ever told me that. He was like, I just went to small time college, and
now you're his coach.
Right? He was like, but no one ever told me what you're telling me. He was like, this is like eye-opening. I didn't even know this. I was like, yeah, so this is why you need to be doing this. Anyways, so he ends up cutting ties with this chick, and later, 4, 5, 6 weeks go by, and he was like, man, he's like, it was fun. He was like, but at the same time, like, I understand what you're saying now. He was like, I'm not thinking about that in the back of my mind when I'm trying to throw or when I'm trying to warm up.
Yeah.
And for anybody listening, that's what Dex is talking about. Like, when you're going into the gym and you have this shit in the back of your head, it's like, and like handling your business, that's what we're talking about. And I think, obviously the most extreme example or the consummate professional at this would be like Matt Frazier, right? Mm-hmm. And I know he's an easy example, but it's true. It's like all his shit was handled by other people. Now, I understand that most of us can't have that level of, help and all that in our lives. And I'm not saying that, that should be the thing that everyone has to have to be successful. But you can see the extreme end of that, of if you want to be as successful as someone like that. The reality is, you're keeping your, let me say it this way, you're keeping your space clean.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'll leave it.
No, it's true. And I think we're conditioned to be, everybody's cool enabling other people, but it's rough for you to enable yourself to be freed up for things like that. Right?
Why do you think that is?
It's hard. The same reason it's hard to take your own advice, right? Like, I can tell you, till I'm blue in the face, what to do. I'm going to do it myself. Who knows? I know what to do. But, it's the same reason coaches have coaches. Like, could I write my own programming? Yeah, but it's going to be 315 clean and jerks and muscle-ups every day. Would I run? Probably not. Do I know I need to? Absolutely. Running's not fun. It hurts. Yeah, but I think we're so conditioned for that, man. I think now, even so, and I'm on social media a lot. I think I have a unique-ish perspective that I have zero emotional weight in it. I just really treat it as like a yearbook for my kids and stuff now, and a way to connect with friends I'm not near. That's and especially where we live now, I have 1 or 2 friends here that, are friends, and the rest of them live in New Jersey and Iowa and, all over the place. And so there's not a lot of emotional stock, but I think we're more enabled to be, even in our own minds, comparing, right? And,
yeah.
not a good place to be, especially if you're not where you want to be and maybe it's not going the way you want it to go. But enabling yourself to put little stock in things that deserve little stock or none, and enable yourself to be freed up to do like a singular focus or on something like that. I mean, I can't imagine being so good at something I'm going to make the Olympic trials, bro. Like, now they're making the Olympics more a joke and a joke. You mean Olympic weightlifting is not in the Olympics anymore?
Well, look, as Matt Bruce would say, like, it's never been clean. It's never been clean.
No. Well, and
ever.
I'm cool. I'm almost cool with that. I'm almost cool with it. Go crazy. Have a clean division. Test them. Have a Wild Wild West division. We talked about that before. Some things have an advantage. Some things don't. And if they do, have a division for it. I'm fine with that. If you're cool taking years off your life for it, so am I. It's not mine. But I think it's so hard to put your foot down for yourself. And I don't just see it in like, because I mean, it is hard to, I mean, that kid's not going to throw the javelin for a living, right?
Correct.
I'm never going to fitness for a living. I'm never going to athlete for a living. Coach for a living? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where I get, I get a text message, and I missed this, and this is, I'm probably in a different place now than when we first started doing these, like the first one, is I missed being a part of that. And I mean, I got a text from one of them the other day, like, if I could hug you through the phone, I would. This has never felt so easy. 2 sentences. That's it.
Yeah, dude.
And that's gas in the tank, man. It's gas.
Yeah,
but it's easy for you
Fuck yeah.
to do those things for other people, right? And you see it as this self-righteous, well, I'm passing it on to you. But, like, you can't, my mom used to say all the time, if you don't think it, nobody else will. And for a long time, I just took it as, like, this real arrogant piece of advice and, like, no, dog, I'm the shit. And if you don't think so, something's wrong with you. And I still feel that way. Just in my own brain. And and it's not always right, but what it is there's like, my self-worth, self-image and stuff is not wrapped up in giving energy to people that have no business having power over my emotions or my decisions, or you're not my wife, my kids, the things that are important to me. Now I'll argue with you because that's one of my favorite hobbies. Love it. But there's no stock in it. I'm not going to get mad with you. We're not going to yell fight, but I think enabling yourself to be freed up mentally, to give things that deserve weight, and even harder, give no weight to the things that don't deserve it. No attachment, no strings, no access, whatever that may be for you. It's hard to do for yourself. And so I think that's, especially when you're on something that's so specific like that, or you have this singular focus, like you want to go to a quarter, a semi, games, especially games. I think the higher the level, the more you have to...
The more focus.
Yeah, well, the more you have to practice it, right? And if you are practicing it, say you are a person that is in that lane, and I'm trying to stay in it, do the speed limit. And that's what I told somebody the other day. I said, man, my body feels good. My training is going really well. The diet, all this stuff's lining up. Personal life straight. Kids are healthy. I was like, I've never felt... Because normally around right before the open, I'll be so tired of training. I'm like, man, I wish this shit would just be over. But I feel good about it. But it's because I freed myself, like, hey, every day is going to be what it is. The effort's got to be there. If something else is going on, free yourself up to let it be what it is. And
that's such good advice.
Well, I've felt better, bro. And I've added some weird stuff, but we, I think it's hard for you to sit in that, right? Because it feels selfish and you need a certain level of that. But if you can't take care of you, can't take care of other stuff or other people or whatever that is. And so you hear it in a million different ways in different arenas and facets and all this stuff. But I think, and it's cool to me that the self-love thing is going real hot right now, and the, self-care. But, because I used to think my mom was crazy when she used to say stuff like that. And, there's a reason, like my brother, my sister, she was so good at, and we didn't have all the stuff. Like, I grew up in super stereotype trailer park in Mississippi. Like, it's, surprise to no one what that looks like, exactly what popped in your head. But she was so good at the internals of us, giving the confidence. And she used to say it all the time. You're giving these people power that don't deserve it. And stuff like that. And at some, when you're young, it takes you a while to wrap your brain around it. But now I'm seeing like that's mainstream for people to take care of themselves, and not out of a place of selfishness, but just out of the place is like, I can't extend a broken branch. And,
Wow, that's good.
So it's important. And it's cool to see people, you present it to a million different people in a million different ways just to try to get them to hear that, which is cool. To see them wrap their hands around it, and then hopefully it transcends fitness and they can apply it to life. But if it turns into them breaking through whatever's important to them, and that's a cornerstone to turn around other stuff. And so that's what's made me feel good getting back into it. And it's been, I don't know how long we've been doing it now with the boys, but I've appreciated being able to kind of link back into that for myself, and it's been paying dividends for me kind of across the board. So
you nailed something, and I think this, and I said this on the podcast last week. I think like the forest gets lost through the trees type of analogy. It's like the whole point of all of this is really to be a better human. Like the whole point of the goal, the whole point of everything. And yes, do people want to actually make it to semis or make it to the games or like achieve the things that they've set out to do and realize their hard work? Of course, yeah. And I'm not minimizing any of that because that's 100%. But the goal is like, and it's cliche, and I know it is, but I really like what Ben Bergeron says. It's like better people make better athletes, and I really do believe that.
He's so funny, man. So when I started trying to be competitive, I'd moved away from home, blah, blah, blah. I was on like what was it? It was Competitors WOD when it was a bear for the logo.
Yep, I remember that.
And so since then, I've gotten to kick it with him a little bit because he coaches Chandler. So at Granite Games, we all went and ate pancakes and blah, blah, blah. And he's got a guy named Jared on his staff. They're just a good group of guys. It's the first time I got to actually spend time and kind of shoot the shit with him. Great guy. He's so funny. He remembered me. And he was talking about all that stuff. And he is that guy. They are very, very about that stuff. And that's kind of what I told Chandler. I was like, man, you have the physical tools to do whatever. It doesn't matter if you're doing main site, whatever. I said, you go to somewhere where the buckets that aren't full are going to get, poured into out of the gym, the mental side. And that's Ben's thing. And so they're also humans. They'll go eat pancakes with you. He will get on a Peloton bike. I'll let the secret out. Ben Bergeron does Peloton. He loves it. He loves it.
Look, dude, I've thought about getting one. I'm like, I could zone 2 this bitch for an hour and a half.
You say that. You ever ran for an hour and a half? I've been zone 2 and hard, and I hate it. I want to go fast, like Ricky Bobby. Who wants to go fast? I do. I do. But it's yeah.
Just curious on Chandler, and we don't have to derail completely, but I like Chandler took a lot of mainstream heat this year because he didn't do as well as people would have, I guess, expected him to do with the changes that he made. And I mean, I have an opinion on this, which is really simple. It's like, dude, change takes fucking time, and it takes a lot of time.
It does. And
anyways, I'm just curious for someone that knows him well.
Man, if you know him, him and Noah both, they are exactly like, I hate to say character, but who they are. You see on the internet is who they are. Very put together guy, very about the business of it. And if you are in the circle, you also should be about the business, or you won't be. And he and I've had this conversation about like that year, and he'll let it marinate for a few days, but he's also very good at like, hey, I've got X amount of time to sit in this, and now I'm over it, and we're projecting out. And I would say what I said to him when we had the talk was, I said, man, there are so few people that can say, hey, I got seasons. LeBron don't go to the finals every season. Joe Montana didn't go every year. And so I said, there's so few people that have the ability to be able to do that. I said, it's okay for you to take 3 steps back to take 10 forward. And I don't think that's a problem, because there are things he is very, very good at. There are things he's not, and they may be at opposite ends of the spectrum. But I think when he is able to, and I don't think that time's far off. I think when he's able to, make sure he's got every piece, and the face of the pretty girl in the puzzle picture is not the piece missing. Not that it is. I just think like there are things he's gonna get that'll click, whether it's environment, whether it's any kind of. I mean, people talk about his range of motion stuff, but I'll never forget at Mayhem that year. The workout was something parallel handstand push-ups and squat cleans at ended up 275.
275, yeah.
Yeah, people don't know he was doing those one-legged. You ever done squat clean with 275 one leg? Like his right leg basically had no weight on it because his ankle was hurt.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oof.
And so, well, and apart from just one of the best hearts ever. I don't know. I'm excited because I love the kid. It's a rough time after somebody, I think anytime you set a goal, and his goal is always to go win, right? And he came off
100%.
of 15, then 6 maybe. What did he get? Yeah, 15 and 6, and then last year wasn't what he was hoping for. Had some bright spots, but when the kid gets all the pieces together and it kind of culminates in an event, it's going to be terrifying because he didn't have the best granite games. He'll tell you, still did well and qualified. You're still at the CrossFit Games. I mean, how many people can say hey, I got a bunch of seasons. I was labbing kind of at the games. Nobody's got a lot of data to pull from that. There's just not somebody that can say, hey, I'm going to go. Barring injury or some crazy stuff that happens. I'm going to go. A few years in a row, a lot of years. And I mean, you off the top of your head, you could say 8, maybe. Less than 10 people that are perennial, I'm going to go till I coast off into the 35, 39 age group sunset.
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
And so, yeah, I think he's going to have better and better years, man. I have no problem with him taking 3 steps back and going 10 steps forward. And I see that is where it's going because he's also so good at reflecting. I think that's a thing with Ben. And I've kind of always been that way with athletes and with myself. Is I think it's, not to sit and waller in it, but see things for what they were, and see it through the lens of everything that was surrounding it, like we're talking about, where was I mentally for X, Y, Z, and learn from it. Reset your data points. Keep those things in mind. Don't let them drag you down or, be weight in the bag, but just be like, hey. I didn't do that last year. Now it'll be a little easier to do because I know what that bad taste in my mouth tastes like. And he's not a person to lay down. He's the opposite. He's a crazy person. I think having somebody to manage the rest and the outside of the gym stuff for him has been super powerful. And it, seeing the way they interact and honestly the way they're able to give each other feedback, right? It's not Ben doesn't just talk at him. It's a real collaborative effort there. And they have a lot of good people in-house. I don't know what happened with Harry or all that stuff, and I don't really care. It ain't going to do with me. But if they take care of my guy, then that's, good enough for me. I mean, it's, you wouldn't have caught me wearing no bull shoes or Puma shoes, anything
Pumas.
like that. But if you take care of my people, man, I'm with it. I'm cool. And Ben does that. Chandler's a really good friend. I love the kid. Love his heart. And the fitness stuff is just a cool thing he does. If he decided he wanted to be a full-time garbage man, I'd feel the same way. And he would do it with the same enthusiasm and work ethic he does now. So he's got a long, long career, as long as he wants it to be, I think. And I don't see him going that whole career without winning.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, yes. Yeah, all the tools. He has all the tools, and it's just going to be a matter of putting it together at the right time. And everybody fusses about the program. Oh, you say the program and picks the winner, blah, blah. I don't think it picks the winner, but I think we can all say
it influences it.
Yeah. And if you get the guy, I mean, I remember not too long ago there was a guy who would not do crappy, but he'd be real middle of the pack till the last day and win all the last day events. He was the greatest to ever do it till another crazy person came along.
Came along and started.
And started winning every event, but that's a nuance thing. But yeah, I don't see the kid being in it as long as he's gonna be in it. I mean, because you could say, oh well, he does this wrong, but yeah, dude, he's a wrestler. His range of motion for things and not getting hurt is silly. I can't wrap my brain around some of the stuff he can do with his ankles, knees, shoulders. Now, yeah, is he too jacked to have a good front rack right now? Yeah, that'll loosen up. That takes time. The best and worst part about things is they're very visible, some of them. And the worst part about the very visible things is nothing helps him but time. There's no quick fix. But no doubt the work will be done, the stone will be grinded, whatever you want to say about it, and he'll come out and keep progressing. And I don't see him being in the game as long as he's going to be in it and able to be in it and work the way he does and keep the standard of people he keeps around him, because there is one.
Yeah.
And him not go and just get all the success he's looking for. You know, whether that ebbs and flows with I want to win to whatever, you know, he could quit tomorrow and whatever. But if he stays in that and that's his singular focus, which it definitely is, he lives in Boston, you know, I don't think anybody chooses that winter. But he, I don't see him being in it and not winning it eventually.
Yeah, I think he's, I think he fits like that mold of characters or athletes, if you will, that Ben kind of has around him, which is just that. I think it's high character people. Like I don't like Amanda Barnhart, Sam Quant. Like none of those people to me are like these people are kind of sketchy. Like no, like they're just super high class, high character humans. So that's why like it. I think I'm with you. Like it makes total sense. I just think after this year, obviously there were a lot of people that for whatever reason, and rightfully so, had predicted him to do really well based off of past events, and then all of a sudden he takes one of the worst places that he's taken, and then and then of course everyone wants to turn around and say, well, you switch camps and point fingers and all the other shit.
I mean, the year they did it at home, right? Like I don't want to discredit. It's not discredited. It's none of that. But there are people that are gamers, and there are people that are not. I don't want to say practice players, but home field advantage benefits them greatly, right? Like being
I agree.
in your gym, and he is not one of those people. He's not a practice player.
Really? Yeah.
No. He wants to go to the event, feel the weight of the moments. And kind of come through. I don't think like and granted they have an awesome crowd there that comes at CFNE and all that stuff. The very supportive community, like which have loved on him, man. Like it is the best picture of like we have competitors in the gym. We are still a community of people who just want to be fitter, adults, parents, spouses, workers, whatever. And I mean, man, they're so nice and like accommodating, and it is it's a beautiful kind of relationship they have with those people there. That's out of his mouth. But I mean, and man, he's good for the sport, right? Like he's an athlete's athlete, right? Like if we ever have like a players association, he'll be, CP3 on it. He'll be the president, and he's good for the sport. I mean, I just don't see, and I think after he is done competing, I think he'll probably stick around if he chooses to. But he, I love the kid. I toot his horn enough, but he'll do well, and he'll do as well as he wants to do as long as he wants to do it. So and then Ben does keep those quality people, because I knew Sam when he initially came out. I mean, I got a funny story with Sam at Waterpalooza when he was like 18, 17, something like that. But he's there. I mean, Sam's done awesome the last few years. Not to discredit the year like Sam goes and gets on the podium. Yeah. Realize I was talking about that. Sam's a monster, bro. Sam's got kids. Sam's married. Lives away from home sometimes to go live in Boston, I think. But, so the year Chandler didn't make top 5 to go to the games, like I don't want to discredit it. It's an experience to draw on, whether it be a, gas on the fire or whatever. But the times he's went, I mean, first time he ended up getting 15th. Last year was an experience. And so just the more he gains, I think the better he'll do.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right, man. I appreciate the time this morning. This was fun.
Oh, no. I got stuff. What about if you and your wife race in a 400, what's the handicap you get to make it even? What's your 60%?
Yeah, so she...
What was her event? What was her event in college? So Micah's wife ran track at Samford.
Yeah, so she... God, I thought I was going to get off without talking about this. But
no, I need to hear it.
She was a heptathlete.
Oh.
Yeah, sick fit. Like, those are the people that,
Wait, what are the events on the heptathlete? So it's...
Hold on. Let me fucking Google it, because I don't want to say the wrong shit. Now I'll never hear
I know, like, decathlon's everything.
Yes. All right, here we go. I got it. Heptathlon events. Bam. I'd just like to let everyone know I'm using Wikipedia. No, I have not given them
Reputable source.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, exactly. All right, ready? Here we go. It is 60 meters. 60 meter. Got a long jump. Got a shot put. Got a high jump. 60-meter hurdles. Oh, my God.
So she could snatch 200 then.
She's very close to hitting it, yes.
Okay.
Look, let me put this shit in perspective. She hang power cleaned 245.
Can she squatted though?
No, because
Okay.
they did none of that in college, and she'll tell
That's
you that.
terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrified now. Okay, sorry. So 60-meter run, long jump, shot put, high jump, 60-meter hurdles, or pole vault. That was like, from my recollection, that was her event. And then a 1,000-meter race. And each of those add up to 1,000 points, and they're all weighted differently.
So what you're telling me is y'all can't go on competitive dates. You can go play like Top Golf or putt.
Yes.
But y'all,
Yeah.
So I used to joke with people about like workout breaking up. You wouldn't break up, but I'm not coming to the gym with you anymore.
Yeah. Okay. It's actually really interesting. So, we are very competitive, and we're very competitive against one another. Thankfully, we will never compete against each other just because of the sport and the way it's set up. So we do a lot of partner competitions, which is great for us in terms of, our marriage. It increases communicate.
Sometimes.
Yeah. So I'll give a quick example. We were at this competition, and we were in third at the time, and I'll never forget it. We're doing synchro toes bar. It's a dumb workout.
It's in the rain because that one was dumb. That looked dumb.
That's a different one. We can talk about that. Okay, so when most people jump onto the bar, like you're behind the bar, you're jumping onto the bar to do a toes to bar. You jump into a hollow, and folks, if you don't do that, you need to go Google how to do a proper toes to bar.
You need to go to brutestrengthtraining.com and
sign up for a fucking coach. So she jumps to an arch.
Oh, she was gas pedaling you.
So my first toes to bar had to be strict every time so that I could wait on her fucking legs to come forward and then hit at the same time because we were getting no reps. And I was like, what is happening? And then I realized what she was doing. And honest to God, that's the only time I've ever yelled at her. Ever.
I've secretly planted
pissed.
so many seeds to never, ever have to be Marilyn's partner. We were partners one time, and she was on our games team. And so in 2017, there was a workout. The only time we've ever been partnered up, and it was not synchro anything. It was literally me and her racing. It was like 40 pull-ups. And, like, she's good. Like, I joke about keeping her pregnant for 2 years. She was good, bro. Like, she 10th or 11th in 2013, like the CNS blowout year for regionals.
Oh, wow.
2014, we almost broke up when we were dating, getting ready for regionals because I would time cap every workout before regionals. And she would kill me. And I'd be like, get away from me. I have to take a lap every day, just burning up mad. And she was so good. A national level weightlifter. Like, played no.
I didn't know this.
Dog, she is. When she was pregnant with my first kid, she was doing snatchy moms at 185.
Oh, that's dumb.
Yeah, she is.
That's dumb.
She moves so well. Like, currently, like she just got back. Like she thankfully is cool on the progressing back slow and doing the birth fit and the bracing and pelvic floor stuff.
Yeah, right.
Just got back to doing like muscle snatches, cleans, and high hang stuff, and it's still like beautiful. Like that muscle memory is silly. So I fully understand the. I don't like racing against her when she's in her prime, and it'll take her. It don't take her long, but she yeah. I'm gonna write her program and whatever, so I can just spoil her. No strength. We're just all you can do is run 5Ks and stuff like that. But does Elle do her stuff too, or she just do whatever you're doing?
No. So here's what happened. So she was with Elle and for I think about 6 months, and she got hurt at a competition where for the women they had, this was so dumb, dude. They had 185-pound farmer's carries per arm for a woman. For how far? Well,
What was this? Strongman competition?
It was 50 yards, and you had a partner, so you could split it up. Still dumb, stupid.
Yeah, it's heavy.
That's a way to get people hurt. I mean, this isn't the CrossFit Games. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so she got hurt, so she stopped because, like, literally she couldn't touch her toes. I mean, it was a nightmare situation. So she's going, doing the rehab thing, and so as she's coming back, dude, she took 3 months off of working out. 3 months.
She's still jacked.
Yeah,
it's weird. Y'all have like it's not weird. Y'all have like the same body type.
Like it's total
like
genetics.
y'all can't wear book bags because your traps start at your ears and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Like,
Trap City, baby.
Yeah.
So what happened was during that time, I coached at a gym for 5 years, and never coached any competitive athletes, but I did I had PT clients and all that good stuff, and so I'm not motard when it comes to what I need to do. I'm like you. I could do my own programming, but I would be doing strict deficit handstand push-ups and heavy power cleans. It's like, because that's
power. No powers ever. No power.
No powers.
No power. No strict.
So anyway, so when she was coming back on, I was like, hey, why don't I just ease you into things and I'll start programming for you. And she was like, all right, yeah, that's fine.
Just sabotage her. Just sabotage her.
So I did, and I got her back up, and she was like, well, and I had a discussion with Elle about it, and I was like, and then I started mentoring under Elle. So so it's just some things started happening, and then we all talked, and it was just like, hey, I think it makes more sense for me to just do it since I have eyes on, and I can have eyes on you a lot.
That's
and I think
that's valuable, man. That's so valuable, especially if they're receptive to it. Like Holly's 3 hours south of me, and she's come up, and eyes on is so valuable.
So I'm able to get eyes on a couple times a week, and with her, I mean, she doesn't move the best, right? And so
she's a runner. There's some stereotypes that are true with that.
100%. And so, kind of stiff, right? And so, but powerful as hell, dude. It's crazy how powerful
she jumped and sprinted, bro. That's what I like to hear. My favorite people that used to stumble into the gym in Kentucky were male cheerleaders at UK.
Yeah, I can see that.
The most gorilla strong humans
100%.
Ever. But then they'd all start doing jiu-jitsu, and I was like, yeah, that's right. You go choke people now for all them people calling you whatever they were calling you while you were doing that. But they,
oh, shit.
Yeah, dude, track athletes. Jen Smith was in the gym. I think she ran the 800. Oh, similar body type to your lady. But same thing, stereotypically tight in runner places.
And
I can't imagine
exactly,
the rotational strength she has. So I texted you one day. I was like, I didn't know she did this, and because that's like the nerd in me. I'm like, oh, you have these tools. We could do this.
Dude, she it's really impressive to me how good she is just at random shit. I mean, rope climbs, for example, legless rope climbs.
Her sport was random shit. What are you talking about? That should make perfect sense.
So no, well, think about it. So they would do, and she explained this to me. She's like, well, we did all these pole vault drills on the rope. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and she was like, I've been climbing legless rope climbs forever. She's like, this isn't that hard for me. She's like, now when you put
I try to teach that stroke. Have you ever watched how they do the pull?
Dude, they are phenomenal athletes.
It's connecting that hip and arm. It's so impressive to me. That's crazy.
So a lot of that I don't really have to coach, right? So part of it is me programming things to help her movement quality, right? And get strong in bottom of the squat position, because you can probably imagine hip flexors, glutes, those types of things, just
ankles,
just horribly locked up. But in terms of hey, I need you to move, yesterday, for example, hey, I need you to squat clean 195 pounds 4 times in less than 25 seconds. Got it. Jesus. You know what I'm saying? Just so there are some things that are inherently there that I'm excited about. It's just been for her, it's what we've spent our most time on is gymnastics capacity, because her chest to bar, toes to bar, I've fixed the ring muscle ups, but typically it's the bar, chest to bar, toes to bar, bar muscle up, have been the things that we've just had to like hammer down, and that's tough because the hands, right? So it's not like you can do that 3 times a week. You just blow somebody's hands
What
up.
limits are on that stuff? Is it grip?
Oh no, she'll get to like she has a number, right? And when that number is reached, like total volume, it goes to shit. Like she's down to like kipping chest to bar like in 2s and 3s.
I wonder if she's a breath holder.
I don't know.
I'll tell you what, I think that airwave thing is kind of bullshit.
Stupid.
But I think it's a good tactical thing, like a tactile thing for you. Because, I mean, I try to breathe through my nose on rhythm for a lot of stuff now.
For
and,
sure.
I think it's me and Jarrett with comp train actually talked about this. And I think it's a good governor, right? Like first gear is my nose. I'm building up. I'm going to get to mouth breathing regardless, but it's a good governor to keep me
100%.
where I'm supposed to be. But and I've tried to articulate that to people in different ways, but I think breathing through stuff, man, and you see it in people who can do massive sets that are maybe too big to be able to do it. They just look comfortable. And when you get to X number, like you're talking about, the pattern's not different. So the strength of pattern's there, and I'm comfortable breath-wise. I think that's what I see a lot of times.
So we're working through it. She was 100 spots from a semi last year. Or 100, 150, something like that.
Are y'all going to do all the opening stuff like in the dungeon down there? Do that.
Oh, no, we did that last year. It's dungeon-esque.
I want to do it in the meat locker, but I don't trust and I'm a good mover, like almost cripplingly so. Like I won't go faster than I can do it right. I'm trying to get out of that, have a good batting average for gross and good. But I want to do it in the meat locker. But if you put a video out, it doesn't matter how well you move, you're getting torn apart.
100%. 100%. People, yeah, I agree. So, anyways, if she doesn't make it as an individual, there was a team that made it, and I don't know how much of this she wants out. So, but I'll text it to you. She was.
See how far I am. Speaking of teams, see how far.
So there was a team here that made it last year, and one of the girls is not doing it this year. So, I'll just say it. And Ashley Ashley would be the best. I'll just say it, best athlete on that team.
You have,
like, and that's not
not
biased.
only do you have to say that, it's
no. She is the best athlete.
Oh,
on
dog!
That team. Like
I'm within the bubble. Yeah. Hey, sign him up. Sign him up. 75 miles, baby. Come on. Run the paperwork.
Actually, Dex. So she actually mentioned to me, and I love how we're just talking about random shit at this point. I don't even give a shit if people don't want to listen. They don't have to.
Oh, they do. We're interesting.
Yeah. Drugs. There you go. Everybody's back in now. She actually mentioned about doing a team with you, and I don't know how interested you are in team, but
I am interested in anything and I'll put my shit out there. I am trying to go qualify and like top 5 to 35 to 39 in 2 years.
Okay.
I want to qualify this year for a semi, be as fit as I can and see if have a deliberate practice of going to and being tuned in and focused and have, like we were talking about, the mountains calm so the valley can be just peak performance. And
that's cool.
At that level, at that stage, and not be burnt out by the time I get there. And then, so we're moving in July, so that'd be tuned up. Because, see, Maryland's birthday's in July, right? And the rule for 35 to 39 or any Masters it's crazy. It pisses me off. So games are in August, right?
Correct.
Maryland will turn 35 on July 19th. She thinks I forget her birthday all the time. 19th. I put it wrong on one medical appointment I made for her, or the lady put 18th, and I'm, whatever.
And then forever you've forgotten it.
Forever. So she will turn 35 the 19th of July that year. She'll be eligible to go 35, 39 at the games a month later. Because before
Are you serious?
Because before the games, she is 35.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Dex turns 35 in September. So he'll have that full year. But, so I'm looking forward to that. I mean, Jason, very like-minded with me programming-wise. I never rarely, besides like sending him one of those, I don't have a lot of pushback. I'll ask because he's a really smart guy. But I think if I stay healthy and fit and, everything kind of trends the way it's trending, I don't think that's unrealistic. But yeah, dude, I love team. You kidding me? That was my breads and butters.
So there is another guy here. He lives in.
Is his name Johnny something?
That's close. Yeah, Jonathan Wall.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Wall.
Have you competed against? Yeah.
Look,
So
dog, I'm nosy in the South. Okay.
yeah. So he's good, man.
Have we argued online about him not doing GHDs right, and he took it like a champ?
Okay, so you know exactly who I'm talking about then.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'm so serious about being nosy.
All right.
I know which gyms cheat in the open here. I know. Yeah, I'm nosy, dog. I want to know.
So without question, he's the best guy here. And then I've got a girl who is also really. She was closer than Ashley.
Dirty South Brutes 2023. Run it up.
I'm just saying, like we, and I say we, like I'm on the team here, but yeah, a team could happen very, very easily.
I'm in the range. I'll have the camp. We got a lake. If we get the property we're looking at, there's a lake. There's a 3,000 square foot barn. There's crazy stuff. And Gunnersville Lake is actually very triathlete friendly, so we can do a bunch of crazy stuff. But yeah, I'm super open to anything, man. And I want Maryland to be able to go and do it without, because the last time we went, we had to take a person who was not very kosher with our group and just pretty entitled to XYZ. It just was not a good time. It was the only time her and I got to go together.
Ugh. Yeah.
Well, our best girl broke her leg. Like, we had a top 5 team, I'm certain. Dude, she came off a pegboard, snapped her leg. Her name's Mel Doss. She's one of the better.
Oh my God.
It's literally the
You
grossest thing.
serious?
Oh, it ripped her foot off her leg right in front of me.
Oh my God.
And you know what's crazy is it was one of those one more for the day things. Like, yeah. So, but I want I want her to have those experiences, and more so like I want her like, I think when ladies are going through the postpartum stuff, like all the you look pretty or beautiful things are kind of take it with a grain of salt just because of how they feel going through it. And so I think having something to work towards and build, which she will build back regardless. Like, she loves fitness. She loves working out. She loves CrossFit. She loves CrossFit. And so her having something to work towards. And she is literally a crazy person when she's getting down with the get down.
Well, I guess this is my question. Is she interested? I mean, obviously, like, not this year, but would she be interested in the next couple years of doing team? Or is she trying to come back competitively, or she's done?
Either way. She would, if she thought we had a chance to go to the games on a team, she would super. I actually like that they're making you declare ahead of time now. The new rules are very. We could be within the rules. I don't know whose gym we would go out of, but I'm within 100 miles, which is, easy drive. But yeah, dude, we'd be down for whatever. We enjoy doing it together. I think now it's maybe a little different because she's kind of limited in as far as like, intelligently limited. She doesn't have to be, but. Like I said, for those pieces to stay what they are and keep all of them, it needs to be limited for a little while. And that timeline, honestly, we move in July, so that would be a full season of, hey, she's rebuilt back structure-wise, range-wise, which her range of motion looks fine. So capacity-wise, she's built back and had a full year of, like, knowing she can go and go hard and not fall apart. She's always been good. She qualified for regionals every year individually while she was in residency. She worked out twice a week. She worked 120 hours a week.
Jesus.
Yeah. If there's
so much
anybody that works,
people
if anybody that works for that governing body of residency stuff, doctor people, they're all liars. Nobody stays under 80 hours. It's just what the paperwork says. Slave drivers they are. So, we'd be down. In worst case, we're just going to beat y'all's ass in Top Golf, and you can take that to the bank.
Listen, let me tell you.
I suck at golf. Top Golf?
I just want to say this. I live in a golf course community.
Not the same. It's not the same. It's not. You take me to a real golf course, I'm chili dipping all day. You take me to that plastic stiff mat, I'm dropping dimes. I'm Steph Curry from the Top Golf, dog. I'm telling you. We play because we're gonna play the real games. We're gonna warm up like we're at the range. We're gonna get the pitching wedges out. We're gonna go the chip and putt one, the chip one. Then we'll go long stick. We'll go to the back of the net too.
Here's what pisses me off about Ashley is that like I'm out there like serious and I want to fucking win. I want to beat everybody, and then she just starts drinking. She starts she starts drinking. She starts drinking, and let me tell you, it's like cornhole for her. Like some people when they play cornhole, when she starts drinking, and she crushes.
It's country club cornhole. It's country club cornhole. I follow a girl who throws shot put at LSU. I think she throws for the Olympics. That's why when you said that stuff, I was like, oh, because this girl. I would love, like, for anybody that used to be, like, not professional, whatever the highest level of that, like, you get into fitness and you want to learn to do the snatches and cleans and jerks and muscle ups, hit me up. Because I want access to that body awareness and you being able to activate all that stuff, like the baby bear muscle recruitment. I want that.
Baby bear.
You've seen it. Bears climb trees. They're heavy.
Yeah.
Bears climb trees.
100%. So now listen to this. So my wife she went to, because she coaches at Sanford now where she ran, and she went to this meet. It was like in Western Carolina or something like. Anyways, so she drops in at this CrossFit gym to do her training, and there's a guy there, and it's like an open gym type of setting. There's a guy there. He's also working out. So they start talking back and forth. And, look, clearly when my wife is working out in them booty shorts, everybody knows what I'm talking about, and
it's a CrossFit uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. Everybody knows she ain't no class goer. It's like there's clear this person does not look. I mean, she looks like a pro athlete.
She could do paleo, bro. Zone blocks. You don't even know.
So, anyways, the guy comes up to her and was like, "Hey, I'm so and so.
I'm Richard.
It's nice. Yeah, I'm Richard." Anyways, she starts talking to him, and he's like, "Hey, clearly you're not like a class athlete or whatever. Over there snatching 185. Tell me your story," type of deal. So they start talking. Come to find out, this kid, I'm gonna call him a kid. He's 22. He's a kid. This kid got 81st in the Open this past year.
Who was it?
A guy named Frank Minervini, and I was like, never heard of him.
Sounds like a serial killer.
Yeah, it does. So she was like, well, it's the typical CrossFit shit. It's like, oh, what program do you do? Well, what do you do? And then they go back and forth, and that was kind of the end of the conversation. He did Mayhem compete, and
you like purple or red? You like purple or red?
And so she was like, yeah, my husband does my programming, and she was like, obviously I'm biased, but I think he does a great job. I was like, oh, thanks, babe. Anyways.
I wish she was. This guy sucks. Get me into CrossFit.
This guy's an ass.
I let him live with me, but he can't program anymore.
Look, man, I get so many passive aggressive texts during the day. Like I have to trick her into battery work. If I write battery work, she's like, "What the fuck are we doing this?" But
I sprint. I sprint.
But if I trick her into, I'm like, build to a heavy complex, and then part B is like, do 4 to 5 reps at 105% of that complex, rest 3 minutes times 4. Then she'll be like, oh yeah, this is great. I'm like, battery work. Anyways, here nor there. So 6, 7, 8 months go by, and this is last season. So 6, 7, 8 months go by, and at that time, the guy had followed me on Instagram. I followed him back, blah, blah, blah. So he reaches out to me and was like, hey, my goal is to make semifinals this year. And, I got 81st in the Open, and he sends me all of his stuff. And he was like, look, I just want to have a conversation. Will you talk with me? I was like, sure. Why not? I get on a FaceTime with this guy, and he's telling, and I'm just going through lifestyle, what's your numbers, da, 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 da. And I'm like, holy shit. I was like, why haven't you made it yet?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, well, I got hurt. I was like, what do you mean you got hurt? He's like, yeah, right after the Open, I got hurt and DNF my first semifinal workout and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, but these are your actual numbers. Like, this isn't like you're not fibbing. Like, these are really what your numbers are, right? Because CrossFitters do that shit. They're like, yeah, it's like,
L has a percentage for like bullshit. He'll be like, that's your number? Cool. So it's actually minus 23% of that?
Yeah. Exactly. And this is what I told the kid. I was like, look, here's what I charge. I said, I'll put you through 2 weeks of testing for free. And I was like, at the end of it, I'll tell you where you need to be. And if you think that that's valuable, you can sign up with me. And if you don't, I'm just making a long story short. yeah, then you can continue to not make it. And so he does. And sure enough, all of his numbers, what he said, he either hit the number or like 5 pounds, give or take, plus or minus.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so you're not. I was like, so you're not lying. Like, this is like the greatest, like, and we've talked about this on this podcast. I think one of the greatest, like, where are you on the spectrum of like fitness is that 10 rounds for time. 500
I've never
meter
said
row.
that because I would at round 5 I'd be like, this is stupid.
So for those listening, it's 10 rounds for time. 500 meter row, 15 burpees. 10 rounds, 500
Just regular
meter row,
burpees too.
Yeah, just regular.
Just nothing crazy. You don't have to jump over anything. You just got to do the old. Just a.
So his snatch numbers were great. I mean, don't get me wrong, they could always go up. His clean was great, clean whatever. And this is when I was like, oh shit, okay, this kid's good. He gets 25-12.
Oh, he didn't beat Joey though.
No, he didn't beat Joey.
That's a sicko mode, Joey. They should call that Joey T.
Joey T. Yeah, Joey got like 24-26 or something like that. It's
Dog,
insane.
I'm telling you, the first year I went to the games, Joey's team was Grandview. We used to have the best time. It was a 1 mile relay, right? Everybody ran a mile. I PR'd my mile. Butch was not good at the time. I have to run.
I was about to.
I have to run 4 at under 7 today, and I was not doing that then. And the girl on their team, Kiri, she's a fire lady in Columbus, just a former pro soccer player, like runs by me, and I'm dying. I'm at the 800 meter turnaround.
Of course.
And she's talking shit to me, and I can't even, like, it is not me being able to breathe and talk. I was like, oh, yeah. That was it. That was all I had. Yeah. But so that was his whole team. They could all run. Him, Andy, Psychopaths. This one, it was 6 people. That workout to me, and I've not tried it. I program it for people. I've programmed people to test it. I don't want to do it.
You should do it.
No, I'm not
you
doing
should
that.
do it. Yeah,
Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go, it says 10 500s, huh? I can take 2 minutes on 15 burpees. I can row fast the whole time. Take my sweet ass time. What are you talking about? No, it's a good aerobic. And it's honestly like, oh, you got to be dedicated to that pace.
Dude, it's so.
Have you done that? What do you row on that? What do you pick?
Yeah, so let me actually give you my time. I don't want to fib on it.
You're going to go right in. Let me find Holly's time. Holly's aerobic.
Yeah, because I don't.
That's different for girls. It's different for girls.
It is different because of the 500, and because there is just for the ladies listening to this, we don't scale that 500 and 400. You're doing all 500 meters,
and that's facts.
It just is what it is, 10 rounds for time. Yeah, dude, that's God, and I did it not too long ago too, about 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Just to tell you where my fitness is.
You did it recently?
So, nah, 6 months ago. So I don't know how recent that is.
I think I'm getting tested today. I think this mile thing is a test. He never tells me. I'm one of those athletes. Surprise me.
Yeah. So just put it in perspective. My time is 27:13.
How much do you weigh though? You weigh 200 pounds, don't you?
No, dude, I do not. People think that like you're over 200.
You're like,
might not.
you're like Kevin Hart's uncle. You should up top solid.
Exactly, but I ain't got no. Yeah, no, man, I struggle to stay at 194. I'm typically between
like you
190
eat to try
and
to stay heavy.
Dude, yeah, like I eat
what
like an asshole.
You know what my cut macros are?
What?
Like 3,400 calories, 3,200. I did. So I reached out to Mike and did the same cut Noah did when I was like, all right, we're going to decide to do it. Cool. I said, Mike, I need to drop 15, 20, dog. I can't be 225 out here doing sexy muscle ups and taking long ass rest anymore.
Mm-mm.
And so we did it. It was a lot of steps and eating not a lot, but it works. I mean, I flux like 212, 216 on a heavy day now. So, which is a sweet spot for you. Me. No, I'm straight. 215 and under is a sweet spot for me. I feel strong. I can go, like I did I think I PR'd my 10K the other day accidentally because I quit running like an asshole. And I get bored, dude. I realize now, I just.
Working from home especially.
It's not that. It's my time domain for fitness. Like, I get bored. Like, my give a shit usually used to cut off about 22 minutes in. But I'm finding ways to stay engaged with stuff. Whether it's I try to run in silence some and pay attention to my heart rate, like a metronome thing and stuff like that. I remember back when I would tell everybody, you know, just for no reason, suck it, because my friends quit doing my programming and we're doing Brute with L. It was Zach Souter and Ryan. Ryan, yeah. Zach would have to row in silence or work out in silence or whatever. I was like, "You are an idiot. Stop doing this. This man's training you to be a serial killer." And but I'm also the guy that has, like, I spend 10 minutes picking a playlist before I work out. It's part of the warm up.
Yeah, it's part of the warm up.
You got to have the vibes right for me. I like it. It's my party place.
I agree with that. And I have a question. Do you get on, like, kicks? I was talking to someone about this yesterday. I get on kicks where I won't listen to an artist for, I don't know, months. Like Drake, for example. I haven't listened to Drake since he came out with his album, right? His last album. And then, just listen to it. All of a sudden, 3 days ago, it's all Drake. I mean, I like the slow stuff. I like the grunge stuff. I like the sexual stuff. I don't care. I was on a Drake kick. But I just get in these kicks. So you're not like that at all.
If you look at my Spotify, I have 16,000 playlists. There are 12 songs that are on every one of them, and they're very specific. I'm probably gonna queue them up, and they're all Drake songs. Let's look at this. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay. And first of all, what was your? Because I tried to find your album the other day.
All Drake songs.
Here, can you text me the link? Because I want to. And I'll put the link in the show notes for people that want to follow it.
They don't. It's if you don't like the F word, don't follow it. A lot of J. Cole and Drake.
Well, if they listen to this podcast, then they're used to that.
A lot of music. I tell you what I don't like is the enhanced feature now. It automatically adds and rotates songs through your playlist.
Agreed. Yeah.
That's not true.
Is there a way to turn it off?
Yeah, you can turn it off. I also think somebody hacked one of my playlists one time, and, like, recently this has happened to me. You know, you can make a collaborative one now. Like, we could have, like, I could send you a link. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so I think I have, like, a friend group where we all have one, and somebody got in there and, like, none of us are adding any techno music. Like, none of us are with the fist pump, Jersey Shore stuff. But somebody got in there and added, like, 40 songs, and they moved them to the top. And I was like, who added this person? And they were like, we have no idea who that. So I think, and it's happened on another playlist I got with another buddy from another place. So, yeah, I think they hack you and they add the weird stuff. So, I don't know. My Instagram hadn't got hacked yet, knock on wood. All my friends have and had to restart.
So I'm assuming you're not with the big booty mixes that Matt Torres pumps out. Well, not that he does them, but I've seen him promote them on time to time.
No, you also you could see him rage to that and know that he loves it in his heart at the games after party, which I love. I love Matt Torres. That's my guy, who just had a birthday, man. He's old.
I know he did.
He's an old fella.
Look, I'll say this about Matt Torres. When I went to the Ohio camp, and, you know, because Dallin works out like 13 times a day, so
linebacker. Kid's huge.
Dude, he's huge. Yeah. And just like the kindest human being, like, unbelievably
I love those
kind.
kids. I told you, James, I've never tasted my own medicine so much as I did at West Coast. And every time I hear the kids speak, it is more true.
You're just like, damn, that's me.
I'm like, I get why people feel the way they feel about me now. It's you love me, or I'm a small dose guy, and that's okay. That's okay, because I'm me. I am me.
I was, I think, mesmerized, I think is a good word, with how much attention, because I got to see Matt, like, coach Dallin there, and just, like, pick his brain, like, hey, why did you do this? I mean, I told him, I was like, hey, is it okay if I hang back and just ask some questions? Like, yeah, go for it. And I was like, hey, why did you do this? Why wouldn't we do it this way? And the attention to detail, there is nothing cookie cutter about his programs.
No,
that, like, it, and he even told me this. He goes, you know what? He goes, look, I could take on a lot more clients if I just progress week to week to week. He goes, but I don't, man. He's like,
he does day by day.
day by day, he's like, I look at everything, and it's a dynamic progression. And I was just like, wow. I mean, respect, man, because that takes time.
The contrast, bro. Like, you've seen L's client list. And
I have. It's
L's
vast
is very,
and long.
yeah, but it's still individual.
It is. And he's got some great athletes.
If they want to compete, they do.
Joey, Kelsey Keel,
dude, I've seen
the Howell Brutes.
I've seen. So he has a girl in Kentucky. She was a teen athlete, young girl.
Avery.
Didn't move very well. Not, and this is, I'll bring this together. When I had met her, didn't move very well, which I'm usually a little aggressive with if I don't know you. I'm like, hey man, you gotta fix this shit. You're making us all look bad, because I have always been like, you. It's not fun. It's so bad. I used to give a lot of unsolicited advice. I'm better about it now. I ain't gonna say I bat 1,000, but a lot of talent. Have not received a lot of coaching. Every time we post a video of her, I'm like, dude, this girl is not the same. She was strong and really good. Now her quality of movement's so much better, man. And that's everybody he touches. Like Zach Souter, I'm telling, like, because I got to see, I didn't know who L was. And Zach started working with him. And Zach, great athlete. He doesn't compete anymore. His brother Ryan was on Invictus' team last year, like both of them. Zach Watts.
So strong, too.
Oh, so they went to a small town college called Georgetown. And I think their coach used a lot of strongman stuff for their strength and conditioning in the spring and summer.
You can tell.
Dog, they pick up 600 pounds any day of the week for reps. Both of them. Telling you. Both of them. I love them, though. That's a good family, man. But, yeah, the contrast between everybody, like Nick, L, even DC, Joey, myself, like it's very cool to be able to pick their brains, and like I don't hate it, the kind of tribe mentality, or you can, just like you do everything else, is pick and choose what you take from everybody and kind of what fits your style. Because I'm like Matt in a lot of ways, and I'm like, I like data. I'm going to progress, but I'll adjust it based on and that's what Matt and Nick are and L get athletes to be very thorough in their description and stuff. No, if you've ever seen Emma Carey's notes, it's terrifying.
I have.
It's terrifying.
It's a journal entry.
I appreciate it.
100%.
Yeah. It's a lot of contrast in that, and I like, and there's a lot of artistry in the way Matt does it for sure. And it says a lot about like how well he knows his athletes and how comfortable they are to say those things to him and stuff like that, which is important to me. And he's a good dude. He's fun to be around. They all are.
Yeah, I agree.
Me and Nick were in Vegas. Me and Nick were in Vegas eating TGI Fridays every night, and then me and Matt and L, copious amounts of caffeine at the games every day.
L can live off of Starbucks macchiatos.
Hearing L order Starbucks, I still have the clip on my phone that I send to him randomly for no reason. It's very specific and long, and he means it.
Extra pumps. I'm like, dude, like literally
16 pumps of this.
Look, I offered him coffee one time to go get him coffee because I was going.
You'll mess
never
it up.
Again. I'll never get him coffee.
You gotta write it
I'm
down.
like, dude.
You have to record him saying it and then just play it to the drive-through speaker.
All right, is that going to be all today? No, hold on. Let me put my voice memos here.
Excuse me. You're going to have to listen good on this.
Yeah. We got a complicated order.
Yeah, somebody's going to spit in this coffee. I can feel it.
All right, man. I got to go snatch.
Are you going to Wadapalooza?
I told you no. I told you my wife.
I just wanted to ask you again. Maybe you changed your mind.
Unless my wife decided she wanted to accept her invite, I was like, I told her. I said next year. I said, you just tell them ahead of time, this is the day you're getting off. I was like, we're going to go, and I'm going to get my other guy, Frank, who I'm coaching now.
Oh, Frank. Frank works at the sub shop.
Still, I'm going to get Frank to go as well so I can coach two people, and we'd just be done, It's going to be great.
This is the first year I've gone and not competed. I'm coaching Grace. So,
dude, that's amazing.
Yeah, and doing the medias. Yeah, I'm excited. It'd be fun. It'd be cool to walk around in cool shoes and not have to be sweaty. Be shirtless for no reason.
Just because you're with a bunch of other fit people.
Yeah, I got good nipples. Got to have them out.
Yeah, yet you gave me shit about my picture on Instagram when I went titty city on you.
Yeah, that's my thing, is giving people shit.
Okay. Yet.
It's It's my thing. It's my love language.
It's my love language. Me
Yeah.
giving you shit.
Yeah.
Jesus. All right.
It's my thing.
All right. Well, until
Bells.
next time.
Bear Bells, get with it.
Bear Bell. Yeah, I'm about to eat one of
This
flavors
podcast brought to you by
chocolate
Hunger and Hunger Cured by Bear Bells. The cashew one. Cashew's cash money.
Yeah, well, I already ate that one because it was good.
They're all good. They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good.
One. Not had a bad one.
I'm gonna text Cooper Marsh, see if he has a
great
see if
guy.
he has a connection. That's the word I'm looking for. Connection over there. I'm like,
He
dude,
does.
just
He's a great
send
dude.
me something. I will literally I'll just take free stuff. You don't have to pay me anything. I'll just take free Bear Bells.
That's a slippery slope. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh, okay. Well,
Don't do that.
I mean, this is why I'll talk to an agent, someone that
Bro,
knows more than me about that.
He's so fun, man. I've never seen somebody cut. I appreciate how good Cooper is at his job, and then out and about, like at the after party. Like I think my favorite thing is seeing people, like do well in the things they love,
Yeah.
and he does. Obviously, I mean, great in space.
Yeah, he's great at what he does. Yeah.
But the cat is so comfortable in his skin. Him and Jake Marconi just wilding, dancing at the after party it was awesome. Like they're good dudes. Good dudes. Cooper's a good time, man. Cooper's a good time.
He says he comes to Birmingham. He has some friends here. I was like, dude, hit me up when you come. I was like, I'll show you a good time around the city.
Birmingham's like 3 blocks big for the city. You can.
Hey, bro. Hey, it's growing. It's a thriving
Birmingham,
metropolitan area.
they just got football back at the university. It's not growing.
Man.
We got a buddy who works at the
Whatever.
hospital. She loves it. Yeah, no big deal. All right, I sent you my playlist. You got snatched to
All
that.
right.
If you PR accidentally, I deserve credit.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Sure.
L.
Sorry, Al. All right, bro. Peace. We'll see you.
All right, Bubba. Later.